for being a subscriber. Also, rest in peace, Charlie. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of vertical live videos about Charlie Kirk, and just honestly, I've always thought he was a cool dude. And I'm still, like I said, I still think it's disgusting how people have reacted to his death and the lies that have been told about him. I'm really sick of the lies. Uh, people thinking that it's okay to do this because they disagreed with him. There's a reason that nobody takes the left seriously anymore. And one of the reasons we got to keep talking about Charlie is we got to expose honestly the issues that we're seeing. And the issue is the left encourages this behavior. And also, by the way, if you guys look up more information about Tyler Robinson, you're going to see that he was about as you know what as you can get. So we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk and crypto, kind of like an on-air breakdown about it. So Charlie Kirk, he went from a campus firebrand to one of the loudest bullhorns for Bitcoin. Receipts, policy, and why crypto fans cared what he said. I'm not a crypto guy. I just want to say that right now. I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are definitely a Ponzi scheme. That's my take on it. Although I still, as much as I love Charlie, this is one of the things that Charlie and I disagreed with very heavily was cryptocurrency. And what it boils down to is I think that cryptocurrency, because it lacks intrinsic value, it can truly never have any real value. Even though I love Daddy Trump, I love Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. That's the one thing that I've disagreed with both of them on is the crypto side of things. Give me a few moments, folks. Gonna do a couple things here. I'm gonna try to interact with you guys in the chat. Gonna get a couple things ready to roll. One moment. Welcome, everybody. I just want to thank you guys for joining in. For all you guys joining live, I really I got to thank you. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you. Subscribers, super chats, whatever you can. We do what we can. But anyway, we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk and cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not a crypto bro. I am not pro crypto in any way, but I am pro Charlie Kirk, and I'm also pro peace at the end of the day. I am pro peace. I am not, I just want to say right now, I bet against Bitcoin. Full transparency, I own Bitcoin and I bet against Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. None of this is financial advice. I'm really not that much of a crypto guy. I just think it's a bit of a Ponzi scheme, if you ask me. Well, it doesn't have any intrinsic value. Bitcoin and any crypto lack intrinsic value. It's not backed by anything of value. And at the end of the day, all that cryptocurrency really is just a string of data. That's it. It's not backed by anything. Of course, it's very easy to transfer a string of data across the internet. Now, I understand that it's non-duplicatable. I get it. And it is tied to a specific wallet at the time. So I do understand that there's a non-duplicatable aspect about it that's really innovative. But at the same time, Bitcoin itself is still not valuable. It's still just a string of data. I believe that the Bitcoin market is a massive bubble at like $2.4 trillion. Bitcoin is a bubble. I do want to put a poll out real quick. One moment. All right, I think that's good. Okay, we got the poll going. Here we go. Heck yeah. Zach says hello. Hey, Zach, how's it going, brother? I hope things are going all right. I think we got 19 votes so far in the poll. Heck yeah. So 67% of you say, 68% of you say yes, and 32% of you say no. While we're doing the poll, I'm going to go over a couple things here. So overall, who was Charlie Kirk? First off, Charlie Kirk recently passed away on September 10th, and was killed in cold blood. We honestly miss him a lot, and he was an idol to me in a lot of ways, because he was one of the people that in a lot of ways encouraged me, never directly of course, but the way he spoke and the way he did things, he was a role model to me, and I felt like he was a very good one. The irony was he's younger than me, and he had his life way more together than I did. So I see him as a role model, and I will say this: he died doing exactly what he wanted to do. I don't think he wanted to die under those circumstances. No, hell no. He will be missed, sincerely. Charlie is just—he's the best of us, man. I still think he's the GOAT. I think he's one of the best debaters I've ever seen. Just amazing dude. But we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk and his Bitcoin exposure. So here's a couple quotes from Charlie about Bitcoin and everything. So in December of 2022, on the Charlie Kirk show, he said that Bitcoin in some ways has more integrity than the US dollar, pointing to the fixed supply and transparent ledger. I will say this: the dollar isn't backed by gold either. The dollar is fiat, and Bitcoin is also fiat, because Bitcoin can't be backed by anything. So even though Bitcoin has a fixed supply, it is still just a string of data, and it's not backed by anything, and it can't be, there's no tangibility in the real world. I don't even think it makes a good currency, if we're going to be honest, because the more I look into it, the more I think, damn, this doesn't even make a good currency. So not a fan of, I've just never been a fan of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency at all. In later clips, though, he did endorse the U.S. creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Should the U.S. do a Bitcoin reserve? Absolutely yes. Here's the thing: I think that Bitcoin is not good finance. I think that Bitcoin it participates in the greater fool theory, where you buy it. It just can't be a store of value. Yeah, exactly. So when you purchase Bitcoin, let's say you purchase Bitcoin on exchange, you're not putting money into Bitcoin. You're trading your money to somebody else who has the Bitcoin that you're looking for at whatever price you're getting it, and you're trading that money away for a digital string of data. That is what you're doing, and it's sad that people have brainwashed the youth into thinking that this is actual currency. It's not. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. I love Charlie, but this was one of the things that Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump were all about, and I'm not a fan of. I think that they were misguiding the youth, not intentionally. You know, they do say, look, good intentions. They may have thought, they may think, I don't know. I've always found that most people who promote Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general are grifters and people trying to get the price up so they could sell at a higher position. Like I said, intrinsically, Bitcoin has no value. Same with any other cryptocurrency, and it's really just a digital waste of time. So yes, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. And feel free to participate in this poll, by the way. This poll is, and if you guys want if you guys want to leave a comment and you want to be heard, make sure that you provide a super chat so that way you guys can get heard. Oh, we got Tim Smith in the house. Hold on. Oh, Tim, I'm not going to read that, but Tim Smith, this is what Tim Smith is saying. Breaking, Michael Saylor's DNA found near the crime scene in blank. I'm not going to say the location. But Tim Smith is saying that Michael Saylor may have been involved somewhere. We don't know. It's allegedly, based on Tim Smith's. I will read anytime Tim Smith is in the chat. I will automatically read his comment. But any other people, I mean, I gotta know you. Oh, Michael Rice. Is this the Mike Rice? Are you the Mike Rice that I knew from back in the day? If so, please let me know, my brother. Yeah, Bitcoin's market cap is at $2.31 trillion. Tell me that's not a Ponzi scheme when something... Michael, Michael Rice, are you talking about, are you the one from FCR, the Michael Rice? Do you remember me, man? Because, dude, if you're the same Michael Rice that hired me back in the day for FCR, man, I gotta say, man, you actually got my life on the right track. You're the same Michael Rice. No way, dude. Well, I can't tell if this is like the true Michael Rice that hired me back in the day for FCR, but man, I send me a message on Facebook Messenger. I think I still have you on there. When you can, man, send me a message on there. Just look up Michael Garza. It should be under Michael Garza Show. Just send me a message, brother. Yeah, dude, if that's the real Mike Rice, man, I love that dude. That guy's the man. What intrinsic value does fiat currency have? It has none. Here's the thing that you guys don't understand. The dollar and Bitcoin have one big thing in common. They're both fiat currencies. The dollar is fiat. Bitcoin's fiat. It's all ridiculous. It's all a Ponzi scheme. Now, I love you, Charlie Kirk, but man, that was the only thing that always grinded my gears about Charlie Kirk, was Bitcoin and crypto. Other than that, I love the man. And I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around what happened. I still can't believe that happened 3 days ago. It's Thank you, Mr. Rice, man. I can't believe the one and only Michael Rice, if it is truly him, the one and only Michael Rice. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, hit me up on Facebook, man. Just so I know it's the real you. I just want to make sure you're the real Michael Rice. And not some fake Michael Rice. So we got 127 votes. Is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? 62% of you are saying yes, and 38% of you are saying no. Interesting. Very, very interesting. What else we got here? Now, if you guys want me to read, now for all the haters in the chat, if you guys want me to read your hater chats, feel free to put in a super chat. Anyway, we're going to continue on going through a little more facts and stuff like that about, you know, Charlie and Bitcoin, and he was passionate about crypto. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not saying he was a bad person for it. I'm just saying I just think that was the one thing that confused me, was that he was into cryptocurrency, because he promoted great financial literacy. He was so financially literate, and the only thing that ever threw me off was the whole Bitcoin crypto thing. I was just like, I was a little sad that he didn't see that as a Ponzi scheme, but that's okay. So another thing is some of the policy tie-ins he had amplified, like July 2024. Donald Trump told the Bitcoin 2024 conference he'd make the U.S. the crypto capital of the planet and build a strategic Bitcoin stockpile from government-held BTC. In March 2025, as President Trump signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve, stockpiling seized Bitcoin, BTC agencies to extend holdings, budget neutrality, that sort of thing. But here is Charlie's own involvement, what we can say on record at least. He publicly described himself as a significant investor in the infrastructure and technology behind multiple cryptocurrencies. He did not name the coins or give any of the allocations. He repeatedly framed Bitcoin as freedom money, with more integrity than the dollar, due to the $21 million Bitcoin cap and transparent ledger. Now, here's the thing. I think a public ledger is fantastic. It does prevent duplication. Here is my problem with Bitcoin. I love the non-duplicatability of it, but here's the main issue I have. It's not backed by anything, so at the same time, it may have a fixed supply, but even if it has a fixed supply, it's still just a string of data that you're owning. And that string of data isn't really tied to anything of true value. It's not tied to gold. It's not backed by silver. So really, there is no difference between the Bitcoin and dollar. The dollar and Bitcoin are both equally fiat currencies. Does that make sense? Do you see where I'm coming from on this? So is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? 60% of you say yes, 40% of you say no. Me personally, I think you guys know exactly where I stand. I think Bitcoin is a net negative to society. His own involvement, what we could say on record. So, we already talked about this, actually. Sorry, I'm all over the place. After his death, though, crypto community's reaction. Here's the crypto community reaction. Bitcoin.com set up a fundraiser for his family that accepts BTC and other crypto. A wave of opportunistic meme coins referencing his name spiked and crashed within hours, widely criticized as exploitative. Sure, that makes perfect sense. It is a little bit sad. I wish he wasn't so into Bitcoin, That was the only, he had a couple flaws, I guess you could say, but overall, the guy was pretty cool. Tim Smith says, I got fired from my job for mocking the end of the Burger King Steakhouse Supreme Burger, which I was never a fan of. I knew I was being controversial, but still, what? No, did that really happen? Hopefully, Tim, I just hope Tim's joking on that one. But if Tim is not joking, damn, dude, holy crap. But yeah, overall, like I said, what happened to Charlie was horrific and just downright disturbing. At the end of the day, how do we stop it from happening again? I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's crazy, though. It really is wild to me. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good apartment though. I like this place. It's very nice. So here's the thing: we can't. He didn't really talk about which coins he was exposed to. I still think that. Look, at the end of the day, I do think that cryptocurrency is a net negative to society, and is typically used by hackers and exploiters, and I think a lot of bad actors. Now, look, a lot of bad actors use the U.S. dollar. I get that. Um, it's unfortunate that that happens, but at the same time, what can you do? Yeah, I love Charlie Kirk, man. Dude was a complete legend. Tim Smith says Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford tonight. They will hit the ring about 9 p.m. Let's see. Tim, did you actually get fired from your job, brother? I hope you didn't. I hope you're just joking about that. But if not, man, if you're being serious about that, man, I'm sorry about that, brother. I heard somebody mention Binance. Oh God. Charlie was an incredible dude. Absolutely. So we got 292 votes. Is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? 61% of you say yes, and 39% of you say no. Interesting. I'm going to plug this in real quick so I got a little leverage here. Well, I'm trying not to notice. Well, I'm losing all my focus in my life. In my life. There we go. All right, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I was keeping my phone charged during this and being smart about it. Hold on, let's see here. But yeah, and the thing about Charlie, man, is I think we definitely want to spread his message. I think the only thing I would modify about his message in finance is definitely, like I said, I really was not a fan of the whole crypto thing at all. I think crypto is a waste of energy. It's a waste of money. I just was never a big fan of cryptocurrency to begin with. But yeah, to all the haters out there, if you want your hate, which I don't want your hate, but if you want your hate to be, I don't even want to see these hateful messages, to be honest. But you better give me a super chat if you're gonna do this. That's the thing, man. You gotta give Daddy a super chat, yeah. Give Daddy a super chat, yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? But look, I think overall that cryptocurrency in general is a scam, and it should be treated as such. I still can't believe we got 325 votes on this. I'm going to take a look at the live stream real quick. Sorry, folks, just looking at something real quick. Got to make sure I'm on the right path. But yeah, I'm still keeping up on the chat, everybody. Sorry about that. But yeah, looking really good. By the way, if you guys want your chats to be read a lot faster, you guys got a super chat, man. Interesting. Thank you so much, Cypher Solutions. I appreciate it. BTC is not Bitcoin. But yeah, no, Bitcoin. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's still Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin is Bitcoin one way or another. But yeah, if you guys want to be heard, do it. Yeah, I just think that, the people who get into Bitcoin a lot of the time, the people who get into crypto, are degenerate gamblers. And that was the one thing I was really hoping that Charlie and Trump would at least kind of backtrack on and be like, hey, look, dudes, we're sorry that we promoted a Ponzi scheme. Like, I really do think that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, straight up. And I think that when you promote it, I think it does harm for your brand if you sincerely promote it. So I think that was like the only harm that was done to his Charlie Kirk's brand. Other than that, Charlie promoted a lot of good values, a lot of good financial investing values as well. Just stay diversified and be in broad market index funds, that sort of thing. He was smart about it, brothers. He was smart about it. So very, very, very intelligent dude. But yeah, I just think that the Bitcoin doesn't really have any integrity either, because it's not backed by anything. It's just a string of data. You know, whether it has an infinite supply or a limited supply, anything that has intrinsic value is zero must go to zero, because intrinsic value doesn't care about the supply. What really matters at the end of the day when it comes about intrinsic value is what can this do? What can it be utilized for? What does it produce? That sort of thing. There are variables in play. So you gotta think about this, man. You gotta think about it. I'm trying to read all the chats real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find Tim Smith's chats. By the way, if you want your questions answered, super chat away, man. If you have a pressing question that you want answered on air, on the live, I'll answer it as long as it's a super chat form. And it could be $2, it could be $10, it could be whatever you want to be. I'll definitely read it aloud and I'll try to reply to it. Tim Smith says, just crushed a box of Yoplait mango tubes, fun size. Hell yeah, dude. My man. And Ultra Fire in the house. You all are naughty AF. Thank you, Ultra Fire. I'm a naughty boy, dude. I'm a naughty boy. But hey, we're talking about crypto and Bitcoin and how it's a Ponzi scheme. I personally believe it's a Ponzi. I think that it's really bad for your financial health. I personally bet against it, using leveraged ETFs, that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I actually got into Bitcoin really early and never sold it. So because I got in really early and never sold it, all the unrealized gains have actually saved me from the unrealized losses that I have from having like the SBIT and the BITI ETFs. But overall, doing really well on those ETFs and having a good time. So yeah, betting against Bitcoin has been the best move I could have made, and it's been paying off overall. So I love betting against Bitcoin, man. Charlie Kirk, I have to say, was probably the most moderate conservative ever. And his views, the irony is his views were not even that radical. His views were very common, by the way. I think it's just sad that he got stomped out by a very angry, loud group of people. Interesting. But I will say I do want to thank you for the super chat on that one. Very good. But yeah, so the question overall, we got Tish Lee saying, I'm glad to see you on here tonight. I believe Bitcoin is a scam. Yeah, I think Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. I've never been a fan of it. Well, I was a fan of it when I was younger and a little more naive, but yeah, I just think it's just nothing to. I just never understood it. I mean, I never understood why people saw value in it. Because the funny thing is, the less I knew about it, the more I thought it was cool. And then the more I looked into it, I was like, well, this has zero intrinsic value, so why would I bother with it? You know, that was kind of my ultimate take on it. Well, let me see if I can get this a little more. Trying to get the lighting a little bit better, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do much on the lighting. That's okay. We're trying to do a little better on the lighting here, but we'll see what we can pull off. There we go. All right. So, but yeah, if you guys want your, like I said, if you guys want your message seen by the masses, we got a lot of people viewing. Like I said, super chat is the best way to do that. Also, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we have, the better. Yeah, I've never understood people's argument that Bitcoin has intrinsic value. I don't see it. I think it's quite honestly the most misguided take. Out of all the crappy takes out there, I got to admit Bitcoin having intrinsic value just isn't. It just has no intrinsic value whatsoever. So I've just never understood that take. And I think it's a fairly incorrect take, too. That's all. It's my personal opinion on it. Now I do use Bitcoin as a hedge against my betting against it. So the Bitcoin that I bought when I was naive and stupid and younger, I kept and never sold it. I still haven't sold it. I bet against though. I bet against Bitcoin because I don't believe in it. Truth is, it just not only do I not believe in it, I just believe there's more evidence to prove me right about Bitcoin than to prove you guys right. Look, a limited supply of something does not necessarily mean it's valuable. There's a limited supply of actual Beanie Babies, and nobody gives a crap about them, right? So it really what Bitcoin is a digital collectible, and it just depends. The question is, when will this digital collectible fall out of favor with the masses? That's the biggest question of them all, and I think it'd probably be pretty soon. I still, like I said, don't understand its appeal. I think it's always been a Ponzi. I'm going to try to lift this up a little bit. No, that's not a good idea. Hold on. We'll try our best here. But yeah, I just think that what Bitcoin represents in reality is fake money, is what it really boils down to. And I just think that Bitcoin is the fakest. It's the fakest form of money there could ever be. There's going to be a lot of people who disagree with my assessment of it, but that's all right. So we got, wow, this is crazy. We got 537 votes on this poll. 60% of you say yes, it's a Ponzi scheme, and 40% of you say no. So it's very clear that most people think that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme at the very least. So 6 out of 10 people believe it's garbage based on this poll so far. We could probably try to get to 10,000 votes on this thing. Let's see how far this poll goes. But yeah, no, like for instance, the US dollar is fiat, Bitcoin is fiat, Dogecoin's fiat, all crypto's fiat, doesn't matter what it is, it's all fiat. At the end of the day, it's phony baloney money. Now, if you guys have any pressing questions you want me to answer, feel free to give me a super chat. Make sure you hit the $, ask, put the question in there, put whatever quantity of money that works, and I will accept the super chat. I don't really care about the rate cuts, to be honest. I'm still going to invest the same way that I invest for the most part. I will say that during bull markets, I tend not to invest. I invest, but not as much as I typically do during a bear market. When times are looking grim, that's when I invest the most. When times are looking good, that's when I bet against Bitcoin the most, actually, is when Bitcoin starts looking good on price. When Bitcoin goes up in value, that's when I bet against it, because Bitcoin is intrinsically, it's in a bubble. If we're going to be honest, Bitcoin is in a bubble, and there's no excuse for it having a $2.38 trillion market valuation. That makes 0 sense in any reality. It makes 0 sense in any reality. So. Ultrafire says more inflation. If the stock market is doing so good, why the F would we need to cut rates? Yeah, it's tricky. I will say when it comes to rate cuts, though, it just makes the money cheaper to borrow. I still invest in any way that I can, whether I'm borrowing money, whether I'm not. I will say, though, one of my favorite things to bet against, because I can't believe people borrow money. People like Michael Saylor borrow money to buy Bitcoin. Like, he's turning his software company into like some weird Bitcoin treasury thing. It's sick. It's disgusting. All right, so is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme is the poll question. 60% of you say yes. 40% of you say no. Yeah, you don't want to make you don't want to make the interest rates too low. You don't want money to be easy to borrow, because then everybody borrows the money and just shoves it into whatever asset they can. Me personally, I when money's cheap, I do like to borrow it for sure. So if I'll definitely borrow more money to invest in stocks and stuff like that. I don't mind using using a little bit of margin and stuff like that overall. It's kind of a good way to do it. Ultra Fire says you watch and see the dollar is toast, folks. Look, I think the dollar's a Ponzi. I think Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme. I think crypto's a Ponzi. BRB, gonna make some food real quick. Sorry about that. I'm cooking up some ravioli here in just a second. So what do you guys think? So 616 votes so far. Is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? 59% of you say yes. 41% of you say no. Interesting. Tishley says Charlie Kirk was a brother and a patriot. Absolutely. I think I might have read that already. Ultrafire says what's effed is the savers get flushed when interest rates go down, meaning CD rates go down and bonds go up. So here's the thing. I believe that saving money is the worst thing you could do. I think you should just have a portfolio, diversify that thing, get multiple types of ETFs, get bond ETFs, get stock ETFs. Make sure you're just as diversified as you could be. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Always talk to a financial advisor. But yeah, Charlie was an incredible man. I just think that that's the only blemish I really found. But I loved him anyway. Like, when it comes to when it comes to guys I idolize, especially like Charlie, you know, every person that I've ever idolized, there's always some flaw that I notice. But everybody's got flaws, man, especially in some certain areas that you think they'd be adept in. But give me a second here. Well, I think that saving money is kind of dumb because here's the problem with money is that they print so much of it. There's nothing that backs it up. Like there's no gold backing it up, so I see no point in saving money. I do like to keep a certain cash cushion on the side, but like overall, I just pretty much throw as much money into my portfolio as possible. I trade my money in for stocks and bonds and anything that's an asset, anything that the government cannot print, I want it. So I love stocks. I love ETFs. I'm all about it, man. Ultrafire says the hedge is gold and silver. Kirk was a saint. Yep. Absolutely, man. Well, I think we can end this poll. So I'm going to end it. So we ended the poll. I'm going to do one more poll here. I want to see what happens. Want question answered quickly? Give me a super chat. I love doing polls. It's fun. Oh, I wanted to see how much of a disaster this poll was going to be. This is going to be so funny. It's going to be so funny. But no, I will say this though. Overall, my main focus is bet against Bitcoin. This is my personal belief. Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme. Look, I may love Charlie. Ultrafire says Mosey the dollar is on life support. Tim Smith says that poll looks like Kamala's probably working. I actually wanted to see I love doing these kind of polls because yeah, they're not going to be in my favor. These polls rarely end up being in my favor. This type of poll, I should say. But yeah, it does look like Kamala's poly market odds. I'll tell you that for sure. Absolutely, Tim Smith. I agree. But yeah, no. If you want to have your question answered very quickly, then throw me a super chat. Best way to do it, man. Best way to do it. I will highlight the super chat. So we got 26 votes in already. So Ultra Fire says exactly, Mosi. So why are you so confused? Yes. But no, overall, we can look at, while we're here, so I'm actually looking up some portfolio allocations. I'm going to compile a list of the top 5 portfolio allocations out there. We're going to stop talking about Bitcoin and crypto for this hour. We're still going to talk about Charlie and talk about how he was a great investor. He actually is one of the finest investors I've ever seen outside of the cryptocurrency stuff. It made me a very big fan, and but Tim Smith is right. This poll looks like the poly market poll. I don't think I'm going to win this poll. So here are some 5 tested portfolio allocations that cover most goals and risk appetites. So these, at number 1, a global market portfolio, cap weight, own the world sort of thing. The target is 60 to 65% global stocks, 35 to 40% global bonds. An example would be like 60% into VT. You could do, and then 40% into BNDW. And why would you do this? So BNDW, by the way, is the world bond market. VT is the world, just the overall world. Like it contains U.S. stocks, international stocks, you name it. They're both very globally diversified, but allows you to be very spread out in bonds and stocks. It's just a beautiful thing, but geographically speaking. Why would one do this though? It mirrors the investable world. There's minimal amount of tinkering. It's fully diversified, which is very sexy. It's a beautiful thing. I do want to thank, once again, we got to give a shout out to Crypto Solutions, saying BTC is not Bitcoin. Crypto Solutions and we do disagree with things, but I do hope you guys check out Crypto Solutions channel. He's been one of those guys that we disagree with a lot, but I do enjoy duking it out with him on there. Ultra Fire, kissy face. Let's see, and then the number 2 allocation is the 60-40 Classic. It's kind of a balanced one. It's very safe. 60% in stocks, 40% in core bonds. So for an example, you could have 40% like VTI, which is the total U.S. stock market, and then 20% into VXUS, which is basically everything except for the U.S., and then 40% into the BND. BND isn't the world bond market, though. I would prefer to have 20% into the U.S. bond market and 20% in the international bond market. So I would actually tweak that a little bit. It is simple, though. It's resilient through many cycles. But when it comes to bonds, I want to be also globally diversified in bonds as well. Because having just U.S. bonds, whether it's U.S. corporate, whether U.S. municipal, or U.S. just standard treasury bonds, I want more than just the U.S. I want to be diversified around the world. That's the key. That's the main key. Give me a second. The third allocation that I think is pretty good is the Bogleheads. It's a 3-fund, low cost expense ratio that low basically doesn't, like, not all your money's being used towards the expenses of the fund, sort of thing. So it's a 3-fund, low cost, broad and flexible, which is really nice. So the target is like 45% VTI, 25% VXUS, 30% BND, which is like total U.S. bond market, that sort of thing. So 45% VTI, 25% VXUS, and then 30% BND. So why would you do this? One, it does give you international stock exposure. So even though you're missing out on the international bond exposure, you're still getting at least bonds to some degree. I think it's bad to have bonds in just one country, though. Like I said, I like to spread out my bond exposure. But this is a Bogleheads 3-fund portfolio, so I'm not going to tweak this in any way. So why would one do this? Well, total U.S., total international, total bonds. It's cheap, it's tax efficient, and it's scalable. Basically, tilt weights to taste overall. You're diversified, though. That's the key. No, crypto is stupid. Cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme. I want everybody to know that. Crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Talk to your financial advisor. If they are worth their weight in gold, they will tell you exactly what I'm telling you, that Bitcoin and crypto, they're all Ponzi's. Tim Smith says, Labubu is greater than Weeboo. I see there's a lot of angry people in the poll at the moment. So do you want your question answered quickly? Gift me a super chat is the poll. 11% of you say yes, Zaddy. 89% of you say nah. Hell yeah. Now I'm wondering, where is this poll going to end? Where is it going to lead me? That's the question. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. The more simps we have, the better. So 10% of you say yes, Zaddy, about gifting me a super chat. Cool. 90% of you say nah, hell no. Rude. Like I said, if you're new here, if you want your question answered quickly, I do believe you have to give me at least probably. We'll see. I'll try to answer the questions as they come in, but I do prefer super chats. Super chats are the best way to get your answers answers to your question. But I love emerging markets. I will say that I'm a big fan of emerging markets. I think they're great. Um, but yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of them. So I have a lot of ETFs that give me exposure to emerging markets. For sure. One moment, folks. One moment. I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves in the chat. Make sure you guys vote on the poll. But yeah. All right. So the question is, Ultra Fire says, just found out my dad's about to give birth. My friend's dad's about to give birth. Pray for him. Oh man! So if you want your question answered quickly, make sure that you guys give me a super chat. Or if you have any comments that you just want to be heard, let me know. But yeah, let's talk about more portfolio allocations here real quick. So the other one this is actually one that I really love. It's called the all-weather portfolio. So it's risk balanced, inflation aware, and it's very light. So the target is 30% stocks, which is like 20% VTI, 10% VXUS, which means 20% VTI means that you're getting the entire stock market, US stock market. 10% VXUS is it's all that ETF is basically international stocks only, no US ones on that one. And then so the whole thing is 30% stocks, mixture of international and US. 55% bonds. I think they're a little too heavy on bonds on this one, but I'll accept it. So 55% bonds, 20% TLT, 20% VGIT, and then BND, 15% SCHP tips, and then 7.5% into gold. You can use IAU, which is a pretty good ETF when it comes to getting the gold exposure that you might need, an exchange traded fund that basically holds the gold. And then 7.5% in PDBC, DBC, it's a broad commodities index. So it gives you exposure to a variety of commodities. So why would you do this? It's designed to spread risk across growth, slash inflation regimens, smoother ride than a pure stock bond portfolio. So that all-weather portfolio is actually one of my favorite ones in the world. It's still the GOAT, one of the GOATs. I still think it's a little too bond heavy though, but at least it exposes you to more than just U.S. bonds, which is good. So Tim Smith says Roth IRAs are controlled by the left. Interesting. So what's up with all the haters in the chat? Why is everybody hating? So by the way, want your question answered. So the poll question is, want your question answered quickly, gift me a super chat. 15% of you said yes, Zaddy. 85% of you said nah. A lot of haters in the chat, by the way. A lot of haters. But yeah, overall, but no, I will say the one thing about Charlie is his love of investing in general. That's one of the reasons why I'm talking about all these different portfolio theories, because we don't really know what Charlie's actual allocation was, because he was an independent investor, an individual investor. So at the end of the day, there really is no. Oh, wow. So breaking news. Hold on. Tim Smith says Garza is now 10 subs away from 5,000 subscribers. We're almost to the subscriber count, by the way. Holy crap. We might even be closer than I thought. So we are currently on the channel at 4,992 subscribers. We are only 8 subscribers away from hitting 5K. Holy smokes, man. Holy smokes. Oh, shit. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. We need it. But the poll is looking very, very much on the side of nah. So, but yeah, if you want your question answered quickly, man, give me a super chat. It really helps the channel grow. Or just subscribe, one or the other. More subscribers we get, the better. This is wild, man. I just can't believe how many people were getting subscribed. More subscribers, the better. You guys really appreciate it. But like, if you want your question in, I'm actually surprised, man. The poll's coming my way. 13% say yes, Zaddy. Yeah, people want to give Daddy a super chat. 13% of you love me, at least. We're at 4,997 subscribers. We're 3 away. We're 1 subscriber away from 5K. Who is going to be? I don't even know who the 5,000 subscriber ends up being, to be honest. But we're almost to 5K. This is crazy. You guys, thank you, by the way. This is the 5,000 subscriber is coming soon. And 5,003 subscribers. We did it, you guys. Tim Smith says we are at 5K. Everyone sub. I have 5,000. We did it. We did it, everybody. We did it. I've been trying to encourage as many people as possible to subscribe. More subscribers we have on this channel, the better. It really gets the message out. It really helps the channel grow. So we're doing it, you guys. We're really doing it. So more subscribers, the better. We hit the 5,000 mark. I want to thank Tim Smith. Tim, man, you have been honestly the biggest champion of this show. You have honestly been one of the dudes who's just really pushed the envelope for me, brother. You've helped a lot, but we got to 5K, you guys. We're at 5,000. We're at 5,007 subscribers so quickly. This is wild to me, you guys. I can't believe we did it. We did it, and we're talking about portfolio. This is so in lieu of the. You know what? I think this deserves a drink. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't really have any alcohol. Okay, take that back. I don't have any alcohol, so we'll drink apple juice here in a second. Dude, this is great, man. Thank you. Tish Lee says, did you hear the Tom McDonald's video, The Devil's Democrat? So, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprised if, here's the thing, man. I can't stand the fact that the Democrats think that they're the holier-than-thou party. It really bugs me. I see it, and I'm just like, yuck. But yeah, thank you guys for your subscriptions, for being subscribers to this channel. We couldn't have done it without you. Just the fact that we're at 5,007. Scratch that. We're at 5,007 subscribers. Thank you for every subscription. We couldn't, like I said, couldn't have done it without you. We got 160 votes in. Want your question answered quickly? Gift me a super chat, and 13% of you said yes, Zaddy, whereas 87% of you said nah. So it's a lot of people who are not. Yeah, there's a lot of angry people right now. But if you guys want your questions answered, or if you want a statement that you want read aloud and want everybody to see it, look at super chats are real, man. Super chats are real. So here's also a permanent portfolio. So maximum simplicity across regimes. So there's a target of like 25% VTI, 25% TLT, long treasuries, 25% IAU, gold. Also, by the way, Charlie Kirk was a huge fan of advocating for gold ownership. And I think storing gold is actually a great savings account, because if you do need money, you could trade in the gold for cash for sure. Because gold, I wouldn't say it's fully inflation proof, but it's relatively inflation proof, considering the dollar's not valuable. But if you need a good savings account, I think gold is pretty good, in my opinion. I think putting your money in the bank, I think it's a little risky sometimes, I believe. Even though it's all FDIC insured, but I just think that you get killed on inflation. Even if you have a high yield savings account, sometimes it's just not enough. One of the reasons I love stocks is because it's a productive asset. It does something, it grows. It really is great. But yeah, Charlie was huge on stock ownership, exchange traded fund ownership. He was just a smart dude, and actually one of the best investors I've ever seen. And for that, we got to give props to the dude, man. He really was one of the GOATs. But hey, you guys, we did it. We're at 5,000 subs, and I wasn't sure if we'd ever get there. Starting to be touch and go for a little bit, but I just appreciate all the contribution from guys like Tim Smith and tiptoe through the tulips and the leaves. I can't do that. I used to be able to do it when I was younger, but I'm trying to remember how that song goes. It's like Tiny Tim, right? Tiny Tim sang the song. They did one like nothing bothers me, ever bothers me. I feel happy and fine, haha. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. There we go. But yeah, 5,008 subscribers, man. I'm really it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a huge advocate of betting against Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's an investment. In fact, if anything, I really do believe it's a digital liability for sure, and I just don't trust Bitcoin at all. Yeah, not in the slightest. My mussy smells. Dude, I'm a tall man, dude. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'1", but now that I've been standing up a little bit more lately, I'm about 6'2". So I'm a pretty tall. I'm a pretty tall dude. Not like super duper tall, but tall enough for sure. But no, it's just good to see everybody in the chat, man. Loving the chat rate, just really seeing it. And hold on one moment. We're just going to end the poll. Clearly, 13%. So the poll is want your question answered quickly. Gift me a super chat. 13% of you said yes, Zaddy. 87% of you said nah. So the 13% that said yes, Zaddy, you're obviously my brony brothers out there. And then to those of you said nah, well, I guess we ain't brony brothers. So I don't know. I'm hurt, but whatever. I'm gonna end the poll. All right. No more polls for a little bit. No more polls. But yeah, I think what happened to Charlie, man, was probably one of the worst things in the world. But I just hope that I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what good's going to come about this. I think a lot of people are angry. I'm angry. I was always just, it's so funny. I always got really curious about how Charlie invested. And when he was on the iced coffee hour with Graham, even though I'm not a big fan of Graham Stephan, he was on Graham Stephan and his boy toy. I can't remember his boy toy's names, but yeah. It's just rough. It was rough, man. But yeah, Charlie, we miss you, brother. We miss you. We miss you, my man. We miss you. I think one of the things about Charlie, man, like I said, he was an advocate for investing. He wanted young people to invest, and that's something that I think should be encouraged for sure. And it's just sad that we don't really encourage it enough to the youth. I think we could do better on that end, but we'll see. We'll see. We're all brony brothers. I'm going to do one more poll, actually. You guys will appreciate this poll. Hold on, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You guys are going to appreciate the heck out of this poll. Here we go. Okay, I decided I'm going to do one more poll. And, yeah. I can't wait to see I honestly cannot wait to see the result of this poll. I'm proud of this poll, by the way. I'm very proud of this poll. So we got 5,009 subscribers. Heck yeah. So the question is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat with a kissy emoji on there. 71% of you say yes. 64 say yes. 36 say no. But we're still going to talk about Charlie, though, overall. I mean, with Charlie Kirk, though, like I said, I appreciated him as an investor as well. Like I said, minus the Bitcoin and crypto stuff, I mean, he encouraged people to get into, like, broad market ETFs. I really thought, I'm going to watch his interview on the Iced Coffee Hour again. As soon as I can, at least, because that was a really good interview. And if you guys get bored, you really should watch it, too. It's very interesting, very insightful. He's got a lot of good stuff. How much Bitcoin did Charlie have? Like I don't actually know because I don't think it was ever publicly made available. But yeah, I'm just still not a fan. Not a fan of Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin is just one of those things. That's just crazy. All right, so do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 63% of you say yes. 37% of you say no. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Got 50 votes on this, by the way. It's time to see if I'm a real grifter. It's like figuring out if I'm a real boy or not, which I'm not sure if I am or not. I think I tuck. I use the tuck rule. I tuck. So to anybody's chat that I may have missed, I'm going to try to look for Tim Smith on here to see if I missed any of his top fans. There's Tim Smith right here, my boy. Let's see if it'll... So Tim Smith right now is number 2 on the top fans list. Hell yeah. And then we got my boy, because he gave a super chat, Cypher Solutions is number 1. Thank you to all you guys. Appreciate it. But I will say this, though. Another thing I liked about Charlie Kirk is just how willing he was to talk to people. He talked to a lot of different groups. He wasn't afraid to try and establish some kind of dialogue, too, which was pretty cool. There's just something about it, man, that just felt kind of magical. And yeah. So I do want to give you guys some interesting tips on portfolio rebalancing. Like I said, this is just for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. Obviously, talk to a financial advisor about this stuff, but let's take a look. So quick tips. I think Charlie would appreciate this because he was a big fan of investing. So rebalancing once a year, use, I guess you could say 525 bands. Basically rebalance if an asset drifts. Rebalance if an asset drifts by 5 percentage points or 25% of its target, whichever is larger. I don't really believe in rebalancing my portfolio. I just basically add to it. I'm a buy and hold forever sort of investor. I just reap the dividends that come through the various ETFs, whether they're bond ETFs, whether they're stock ETFs, that sort of thing. I got like covered call ETFs too. I'm really very dividend focused, but I'm also, obviously, I still want dividend growth. I still want portfolio growth overall. Dividend growth is a big deal to me as well. But I make sure that I'm exposed to international stocks, to U.S. stocks, you name it, man, because I think that it's important to hold those. It's important to be very diversified as well. Stay diversified. Make sure that you're into U.S. stocks, international stocks. Be exposed to the entire globe really is the key. Okay, so the poll says 77 votes. Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 60% of you say yes. 40% of you say no. Wow. I personally don't think I'm a grifter. I think I'm just somebody who likes to do a show. And this is a show that I've been doing for a while, man. I have fun doing these vertical lives. Tim Smith says W. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you, brother. I mean, dude, what I'm doing, it feels a little grifty sometimes. Don't worry. I'm aware I'm a little grifty from time to time. By the way, tomorrow, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be I'm going to try to commentate on some of the NFL games that may be going on tomorrow in the morning. So stay tuned for that. There is a possibility that you guys may get to see me react to NFL games tomorrow, and I will kind of give my opinion and narration. I may try to watch as many different games as I can tomorrow. So let's see. So 59% of you say yes, 41% of you say no in the poll. Interesting. I am fascinated by these poll numbers, by the way. One moment. All right. 92 votes on this one, man. This is a crazy poll. So 60% of you say yes, 40% of you say no. But a few other things that I want to talk about with Charlie that I find really fascinating is let's just talk about more of these. I think Charlie would want me to encourage the youth, or anybody of any age really, to invest intelligently, right? Invest intelligently, stay diversified, make sure that you spread out your risk across the entire globe. That's huge, man. I can't emphasize enough the importance of a heavily diversified portfolio. I just think it's the most important thing when it comes To investing, I really can't harp on it enough. Like, I know I harp on it a lot for sure. That's just the way that I am when it comes to investing. I'm kind of I'm a nutbag when it comes to when it comes to the world of investing. I just am crazy with it. I'm not a big fan of rebalancing though, but it is something that most would recommend. I don't really care personally. You do what you want, rebalance or not rebalance. It doesn't make or break your portfolio. I think what really matters in the end is that you have a buy and hold strategy, and that your goal is not to sell. Your goal is to spread your risk out and really not have to truly worry about your portfolio. And the best way to do that really is through index ETFs. I'm not a fan of actively managed funds. I really am not. I do have them, but I'm not a fan of them. I'm going to say that right now. There's also one ticket options like Vanguard Life Strategy. If, for example, like moderate growth, there's like the iShares, core allocation. It's AOM/AOA of a target date or a target date fund if you want autopilot. Me personally, though, I love being heavily involved in my portfolio. I believe my portfolio is really an extension of me in the sense that it makes it to where, like, for instance, my dividends can pay for a lot of my bills, which is crazy. The dividends that I receive collectively every month, even though I get them quarterly, but I do get a good payout every month just because I'm so spread out, because they all pay at different times during the quarter. If I get desperate, I could use the money towards paying off, anything I need to pay off. Let's see. Tax location, favor stocks in taxable qualified dividends, harvesting, that sort of thing. Put bonds, tips, and tax advantage when possible, that sort of thing. Customization, add a 5 to 10% real asset sleeve. Gold, commodities, REITs, if inflation protection matters to you. Inflation protection matters to me, at least, so I would assume it matters to a lot of different people who invest. And then increase internationals if you want closer to cap weights. So the thing is, international stocks, one of the reasons I love being diversified in international stocks through ETFs that expose me to those companies in different countries, is because they're not as overvalued as U.S. stocks. So you're going to get valuations that are more closer to the market cap weighting of the actual company, like the actual book value. So the market cap versus the book value, it will not be as overvalued as, say, U.S. stocks. So I will say, whenever you're buying U.S. stocks, you're definitely paying a premium a lot of the time, and they're always going to be a little bit overvalued. Some stocks don't deserve the undervaluations they get, though. And I think REITs, real estate investment trusts, I think that they're at low valuations based on their book value. So I've always found that real estate investment trusts, being diversified in those, has always been a good thing. I've got international REITs, I've got U.S. REITs, so I'm very diversified in the real estate and portfolios overall. But yeah, so overall, the best way to reduce your risk, I think, is to spread out your portfolio. I think just have a very diversified portfolio of various ETFs. I buy like one share of every ETF that I like. I buy one share of every individual company that I prefer to have in my portfolio. Let's take a look at the poll real quick. This is a shocking outcome. I thought everybody was going to call me a grifter because I'm talking about finance, but so do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat is the question. 54% of you say yes. 46% of you say no. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tish. I appreciate it. Stormy, because they're... Yeah, Matalola and Tish, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of these people are very... are are very, they're souls that are hurting. The people who have celebrated Charlie's death, I wish you wouldn't. It hurts to see people celebrating a good person's death. But everybody, these sickos, I'm assuming they're all from Reddit. I feel like these are a bunch of people that are just like from Reddit, those terrible websites. I hate Reddit so much. Like I am not a fan of the Reddit. I used to like Reddit back in the day when it first came out, but man, over time I've just become sickened by Reddit overall. It's become a cesspool of overly leftist garbage, and it's disgusting. I mean, Tish, I mean, you could say that they're demonic souls. I don't know. I think they're, I think Charlie would actually see all these people as misguided, all these sickos that are coming in the chat. I think he would see them as misguided and would hope that somehow they find some form of peace in their lives and some form of tranquility. So I think Charlie would probably wish them well, is what I think. That's my opinion, at least. David wants to know if I'm invested in treasury bonds. David Johnson, I do have exchange-traded funds that expose me to a variety of treasury bonds as well. A lot of my bond exposure is through, actually all my bond exposure is through exchange-traded funds, just because it's easier, and I don't have to buy the bonds individually myself, and they're all held by the fund, which just makes everything easier for me. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of bond ETFs, though. I live in the realm of bond ETFs without a doubt, for sure. All right. Let's see what else we got. But yeah, do you guys think? So the poll is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 50% of you say yes. 50% of you say no. I'm actually very shocked by this result. It's a clean split. Half of you think I'm grifting. Half of you think I'm not at all. And I personally do not see myself as a grifter. I'm somebody who loves to do a show on the vertical live streams. Because I feel like a lot of the shows that you see on these vertical live streams are mental filth and garbage. So I want to be something different than the filth and the garbage. I want to talk about real investing principles. I want to talk about diversification principles. I want to talk about really allocating your portfolio to make it to where you don't have to risk too much, but to where you're exposed to every single asset class that you could be exposed to. I believe in that wholeheartedly. And, Charlie was another reason that I was like, dude, this is so cool. Really prominent figure who loves to talk about investing. He and I, when it came down to that, when I saw some of his podcast, when he went on podcasts and stuff and talked about, like Jesus and stuff. I'm not really much of a Christian guy, but when he talked about, like Jesus and stuff like that, and investing, I thought it was really cool. He adds spirituality to his investing philosophy. This is kind of cool. So that was something that really stuck out to me, big time. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so far, man. This has been interesting. I'm not a big fan of treasury bonds, to be honest. No, granted, there's no chili mac tonight. I'm actually going back to the kitchen every now and then to eat some of the. I actually cook some organic beef raviolis, like Annie's beef ravioli, that sort of thing. Really tasty, really good, by the way. Hold on, before yeah, screw it. I'm gonna have Sprite. Yeah, I'm gonna drink a Sprite. Yeah, so 51% of you say yes, 49% of you say no. This is a pretty interesting result, man. I'm actually shocked it's almost a 50-50 split. Because there have been some people coming in here just saying grifter, loser. They've been calling me all sorts of names. It's shocking. It's shocking. But then again, not really. It's the internet. But I want to thank everybody who subscribed. We're now, by the way, at 5,027 subs. Crazy. Crazy, you guys. Whew. I'm a little sweaty at the moment, mainly because I'm doing a lot of pacing back and forth and walking back and forth. I like to rock it. But yeah, so far we got 164 votes. 52% of you say yes. 48% of you say no. Crazy. Thank you, Gravity is Wrong. Gravity is Wrong said, I like this guy for his commitment. I've sent him some money. I remember those super chats, by the way, because he's trying harder than 97% of Americans. I am doing my best for sure. I enjoy doing this show. This is one of those shows that I've enjoyed doing. Obviously, it does run a lot of it on super chats. So, I mean, that is the truth. This is a show that runs heavily on super chats, big time. But, yep. Oh. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, the poll question is: do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat, like kissy face emoji. 53% of you say yes, 47% of you say no. We'll see what the result ends up being. But this is a really fun poll. I really like this. So somebody wants me to. Oh shit! Thank you, Gravity is Wrong. I appreciate you, brother. That's another brony brother right there. Thank you, Gravity is Wrong. I appreciate you, man. I think that. By the way, Gravity is Wrong. So gravity is actually the bending of space. Just to let you know. One of the things that some people get wrong is they think that gravity. I mean, Newton used to think gravity was the attraction of masses. Modern physics realizes that actually mass bends space in a way that makes it to where the masses aren't actually attracted to each other. The masses just find a way to move towards each other. And it's not because of any real attraction from the masses at all. It's really just the curvature of space that changes, allowing for that to happen. So mass bends space and kind of creates a, in a weird way, a gravity tunnel. Not a gravity tunnel, more like a kind of like gravity well. Almost like the best way to visualize it is if you're, let's say my fat ass is sitting on the center of the trampoline, and you put a, well, actually, how about this? Let's say you put some balls on the outer rim of a trampoline, right? And then all of a sudden, here I come into the center. I'm bending the trampoline. The trampoline can be interpreted as space itself. And then what happens is all the balls that are around me, whoop, are all going to go towards me. So the balls are not attracted towards me. I manipulated the trampoline with my mass to make it to where the balls all roll towards me. Now, what I'm trying to say is that's how, well, a lot of misconceptions about gravity is attraction of masses. In all reality, it's just the bending of space straight up. That's all it is. And that bending of space allows for, like, for instance, the sun, for example, bends space quite a bit. And that reaches pretty far. But yeah, with Charlie, I want to say this. What's really cool about him, and what made me very happy to talk about him, and he has been an influence on this channel. He is one of the reasons why I continued to do this channel. I was going through a pretty dark time and thought maybe I won't do well on YouTube. And then, and I had watched a lot of Charlie's work. I've watched a lot of his debates at college campuses. I thought this is actually kind of cool. I'll give him props. And he had the courage of his convictions, but he never gave up, and he believed in himself. And I felt like at the time I was lacking a real belief in myself. And once I started believing in myself, that's when things started to change. I started to bet on myself and started to say, hey, I can do this. I know it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I can find a way to do this. And that's where honestly things kind of turned around. At least it turned around for me in a lot of ways. So it was a big deal. Oh, a little tired at the moment. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to stay awake because I'm having fun doing this, man. I really do enjoy these streams and talking to you guys. And there's been a lot of haters coming into the stream. I'll admit it completely. A lot of haters. Not a lot of people loving me. Some people hating on me. And Granite says, Michael, it's time to spice up the show by bringing your ravioli. All right, that sounds like a plan to me. So here's my so this organic ravioli here. We'll take a quick little peek. Here we go. So this is the ravioli you guys get to see here. Make sure it doesn't dip out. Mmm. 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 All right. Thank you, Maddie Lola. Appreciate it. Let me Oh man, so let's see. Madalola Johnson gave a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. She's saying, "Dear trolls, You do, and by the way, guys, subscribe to Matalola's channel. She's been so kind, like kinder than anybody I've seen on these chats, man. There's been a lot of mean people, surprisingly. But not to worry, I'm not as affected by this as one would think. But Matalola says, "Dear trolls, you do realize that you're harassing and bullying a person for their freedom of speech, just like the crazy extremist did to Charlie. You do realize Garza has a right to make his own choices." Yes. And here's the thing. I ask for super chats on this channel. I absolutely do. Anytime I do vertical lives, I tend to ask for super chats. It keeps the channel going. Yeah, I talk about controversial topics, not because of the super chats. I really do honestly enjoy interacting with people. But with all the negativity, I have to resort to really encouraging super chats, unfortunately. Because a lot of the people's comments on here, I'll read the kind people who have been very nice to me. Like Matalola has actually been really kind. I really enjoy talking about Charlie. And if I get paid to do it, I think it's just a cherry on top. He was an amazing soul. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Matalola. So my response to Matalola was really enjoy talking about. I really enjoy talking about Charlie, and if I get paid to do it, I think it's just a cherry on top. He was an amazing soul, and I will try not to let the trolls get me down. Absolutely. David Johnson says, "What's your opinion of BlackRock?" So honestly, I'm through some of the ETFs that I have, I'm technically an investor in BlackRock to some degree. So, I mean, BlackRock is really, they're just at the end of the day an asset accumulator, from what I've been able to tell. Granite is asking, how many shares of Radio Shack should I buy? God dang it. That's funny. Let's see. Matalola says, yes, I understand it works both ways, but you don't have to waste time bullying and harassing someone trying to do their own thing. I think he should be able to control the asinine jerks on here. Yeah, you know, here's the thing. They're going to be jerks, and you know what? We're just going to brush it off. We're just going to brush it off, Matalola, because look, I'm okay at the end of the day. I appreciate you sticking up for me. And hey, anybody who subscribed to Matalola, by the way, she's awesome. She's a heck of a soul, good person, just being nice to me. Matalola says because it's his channel, he should get mods to control the spamming of your. I probably should get moderators, but at the same time, I really. This is more my chat. I do like to make it to where my chat is really a wild, wild west sort of scenario where people can freely, even if they're being annoying, you know, say what they want. You know what I mean? I just believe that restricting people, even if they're trolls, is a bad idea. Tish Lay says, I'm subscribing to Matalola. Thank you, Tish. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Granite says, Wild Ravioli West. Heck yeah. Nathan Walker says, has anyone brought up Mussies? Nathan Walker's back. Dude, Nathan Walker, I have not seen you in ages. Where have you been? Where have you been? So the question in the poll is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. So now, we were talking about Charlie Kirk and his in Bitcoin and what he thought about Bitcoin and that he was a Bitcoin advocate, that sort of thing. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. That's like one of the holes that I found in some of his logic. I just never understood why anybody could think that Bitcoin was a good investment. It just didn't make any sense to me. I should. Tim Smith says, "Hey guys, his shower live stream is on his alternate channel right now." That's funny, dude. You guys give me another moment. One more moment, man. Chill. Chill. So I gotta find out if I'm a real grifter, if I'm a real boy. So let's see. Trying to keep up with the chats here. It's pretty tough. Granted, I'm not going to do a fridge reveal. You guys have already seen the inside of my fridge. So I'm going to react to a few Jim Rome. So there's this. Have you guys ever watched the Jim Rome program at all? So there's a guy named Rex on the show, and he's just the best. So here we go.
On the YouTube music app, you can bump your fave songs in the background while you clean up all that mess in the foreground.
Hey, Rex.
Hey, Jimmy, is this the beef jerky segment?
This is not the beef jerky segment, Rex, but I would tell you to go ahead and do what you're going to do, but I know you will anyway, so go ahead and do what you're going to do, Rex, and let it be any segment you want.
All right, well, my beef is when I go to the gym and get my work in, and then I go to wash up and take a shower, and that nasty mold-encrusted shower curtain sticks to my leg. And then I go to the dressing room, which is packed, and then I accidentally cross swords with some dude.
That's my boy Rex in the ABQ. It's from the show, the Jim Rome Show. I love Jim Rome, and funny dude, man. Funny dude. Incredible. It's good to see so many people on the chat, though, you guys. I really do appreciate you guys all showing up on here. Stream's gotten a lot of likes, though. More likes than I anticipated, man. Way more likes. But yeah, so we got 324 votes in the poll. Whoa. Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 51% of you say yes. 49% of you say no. Pretty close, man. This is a lot closer than I expected. Sincerely. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think what I really want to discuss here is, obviously a lot of us are missing Charlie. We think he's one of the best. And, actually, I could play a couple short videos that I think would be really good. Give me one moment.
He was someone I was very intrigued by throughout the summer, given the leap in usage and efficiency we saw.
Trying to look for short videos on here. Sometimes it can be a real pain. Here's a short video.
We're going to get started, everybody. You know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from Y Refi. That was great. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best lips that Utah has to offer. Just relax. Hey, I'm looking at you up here. All right, we're going to get started, everybody.
Oh, shit. Man, dude.
I know my husband is still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember the last time I slept. I couldn't sleep last night. And Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen.
Oh, we're gonna help you out with that. Trust me, we're gonna
promise.
do our best. We're gonna do our best. Dude, his wife and family having to witness that is a certain type of horror that's one of the reasons I don't speak on college campuses, man. Even though if I were to, I would troll unannounced on college campuses for sure. Maybe one of these days I'll go down to like maybe the SWAC campus with my camera. We'll do a live video throughout the different classrooms and stuff. Something like that. But all I ask, to the best of your guys' ability, is try to the people who are coming into the chat to just spread levels of demonic hatred, just try your best to not do that. All I ask. It's a simple ask, man. It's not like a difficult one. I'd like to believe it's not difficult. But, you know. But man, seeing his wife like that, man, in just that sort of state, dude, she's just having a tough time. And to anybody who's even giving that man's family a tough time, you're just sick. Justice needs to be served on this one, you guys. Justice needs to be served. Charlie was a heck of a dude. I think that man was a damn angel, dude. But Charlie, we miss you, brother. And yeah, overall, I know this live started out talking about his Bitcoin exposure and stuff like that. I'll kind of change the title a little bit. Because yeah, overall, we're really talking about stocks, and we're talking about stocks and Bitcoin. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. I do think it is a Ponzi scheme for sure. But at the same time, man, the one thing I loved about Charlie was, like he stuck to his convictions. Like, I'll admit, I disagreed with him wholeheartedly on it, but he stuck to his convictions. I think he would have changed them if he would have realized that Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme for sure. I'd like to believe that. Give me one moment, folks. Sorry about that. But yeah, no. Overall, I think the thing is, his exposure to he had more exposure to like U.S. and international stocks based on what he was saying. That he was definitely heavily in the stock market through a lot of ETFs or probably just independent funds, whatever he had. He definitely, he reached me in a way that I didn't think. Because I always thought I'd have the opportunity to tell him thank you. Thank you for being a beacon of light, that even though I didn't go to college, I could still make something of myself. So that was a big thing because, my dad always kind of tried to pressure me to go to college, and I just didn't see any point in it. I was like, why would I get a bunch of student debt? That makes zero sense to me. And I could definitely, So, do you think so the poll question is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat, kissy face. 52% say yes, 48% say no. We're getting really kind of close to that 50-50 range, which is crazy to me, by the way. Wild. Yeah, the man, I firmly believe he is with God in some capacity, man, in a lot of capacities. Dude was an angel. Like, just straight up, dude was an angel in my opinion. And it's crazy. But yeah, rest in peace, Charlie, man. But yeah, 51% of you say yes, 49% of you say no. Thank you. Granite is asking what happened to your last job. I'm genuinely curious. I ended up getting fired from my last job. My management team was harassing me, and they were honestly bullying me in a way that just made me feel uncomfortable. So I told HR that they were being unprofessional. And turned out that they ended up saying that I was unprofessional. The worst part was we had these video conferences that weren't recorded, by the way, which is so frustrating. And they were being absolutely... I'd been at that company for 13 years. And my stats on this client, by the way, were really good. Were really, really good. So it's just infuriating. To be told unprofessional when that's a great freaking lie. And yeah, I'm upset with them, clearly. It's very obvious I am. But yeah, just not a fan of that company. And by the way, if you guys ever think about working for T-Tech, please don't. For your own good, T-Tech is a bad company to work for. Just stay away from T-Tech, for the love of God. But yeah, we're going to talk a little more about, we talked about, Charlie's exposure to Bitcoin. We don't know the extent of it, but we do know that he was into stocks. He's into the stock market. One can only estimate based on his interviews, his portfolio allocation. We did talk about that in a previous video, but instead of looking at portfolio allocation, what he definitely had a spirituality to the way he did everything. Whether it was debating, he was an intelligent person, and the way he did it, man, it's just crazy. I don't know. He's just a wild dude, a wild dude in a good way, in the way he did things. But yeah, but no, I'm very happy to get away from the company. Yeah, it really is bewildering to me. Just the fact that all this still happened. I don't know how his family can get any peace, from this. Like, it just sucks. Just everything, man. Just like, I guess the last 3 days have been crazy because I'm having less trouble processing it. But sometimes, man, it's like, what good comes out of this? I'll say this: the mega movement grow stronger. Sure, I think that's probably the best part about this. Granite asks, "Who is your barber? I want your exact haircut." So I actually use a Flowbee knockoff. So if you've heard of the Flowbee, it's like it's a vacuum hair clipper thing, and yeah, it's really cool. It basically, I'm gonna fix something in here, but it gives me the ability to give myself a straight haircut like George Clooney. George Clooney uses the Flowbee. I don't have a Flowbee, but I have like I said, a Flowbee knockoff, which is really cool. Willie Jenkins says, I'm definitely grifting. Heck yeah. So the question is, do you think I'm a grifter? The question is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 51% of you say yes. 49% of you say no. Nice. Yeah, I got like the Temu Flowbee, basically, which is kind of dope if you think about it. By the way, we're at 5,046 subscribers. To everybody who subscribed, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We've been trying to expand the subscriber base to the best of our ability, and it looks like we're succeeding in so many ways. And we also get to talk about Charlie, and while we're expanding the channel, I think he'd be happy to see that I'm trying to grow my brand the same way he was, just through through organic growth. A lot of this is pure organic growth, man, when it came down to it. And I just try to be as authentic as I can. It's really the key. Yeah, I got a pretty big kitchen, man. I got a small wiener, but a very big kitchen. So the big kitchen makes up for the small wiener. Calvin Irwin says I knew Michael Garza from high school. I don't know if I remember you, Calvin. Refresh me. Do refresh me, my man. Do refresh. I'm having, I'm having fun doing this. I just really enjoy. Like I said, he's a fun dude to talk about, and he makes for good show material. Well, all right. Well, which high school did we go to? If you knew me from high school, which high school did we go to? Calvin, which high school did we go to? I was a loser, by the way. I'm okay with that. I'm a winner now. I don't, but I have nothing to prove to anybody. But Calvin, which high school did you go to? Which high school did we go to together? Because if you really did go to high school with me, you could answer that question. What high school did we go to together? What was the name of the high school? Calvin, you're not answering my question. What high school did we go to together? If you really went to high school with me, you would know that. I love eating. Dude, I love eating out of a pot. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Ravioli, man. It's good for the soul. It's good for the whole. Matalula says, Corzo, as evidence of this, consider the story of the first Christian martyr, Stephen, recorded the Acts 6:8, 753, after being anointed as one of the first deacons in the church. Interesting. But yeah, Charlie is a martyr at this point, man. He's growing the movement, man. So the left should not be cheering this on, because what they realize is the people who love Charlie are mad about this. Granite says, Garza, don't let the bullies get to you. You're just eating your ravioli, living their best life, watching Star Trek and such. Please know that you're loved. Thank you, Granite. It's good to see you, man. I haven't seen you on here in a while, so I appreciate it. Tasty. So we got 448 votes Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. Woo. Hell yeah. And 50% of you say yes, 50% of you say no. Interesting. Very good. All right, we're back. Oh. Oh, I got a gift. What? PDX Richard sent a party hat. Thank you. I appreciate the party hat. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Have a good night. Calvin, which school did we go to? If you say that you know me, then you can answer this simple question. What school did we go to? You can't just, if you don't know what school we went to, then you're a liar and you never went to school with me. I know your tricks. Yeah, if this guy can't tell me what school, then he's grifting. Oh, whoa, Matalola. Wait, who gave this one? Matalola gave another one. Corporation, I'm being limited for some reason, so here's the rest. Clearly, the biblical evidence points to the fact that those who are prosecuted suffer the witness trust. Let's see. So, corporations, clearly the biblical evidence points to the fact that those who are prosecuted and suffer for their witness to Christ. Yeah. It is still weird to me that that level of execution happens to people like who they just believe what they believe. You know, there's a level of authoritarianism I will never understand, and I find this happens a lot with people who have very leftist ideologies. They are very much more authoritarian. They want to shut people up more. They want to tell people how to think. They want to tell people what to do. It's a very weird thing. So there's a lot of authoritarian behavior that I notice with people who lean very left. They just want to tell people what to do and they want to control people, and I think that's sick. It's very weird. But Matalola says, Garza, you're welcome. Yeah, Matalola, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I wanted to say, everybody, subscribe to Matalola's channel. Just because she's been so kind, and her encouraging words as well, not only the super chats, just the encouraging words, it's incredible. So I want to thank you for making this channel better. Your presence helps. I really appreciate you. But let's see. So the poll is very interesting here. Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 50% say yes, 50% say no. The Ginger says, what are your thoughts on Charlie Kirk? I honestly think Charlie was one of the best people. Just a kind soul who just believed what he believed. Did he have a couple harsh opinions? Yes, but who doesn't? You're acting like most people act like they've never had a bad opinion of anything before, and they act like they're a saint and they have the moral high ground. Look, Charlie, for the most part, actually had more of a moral high ground than most liberals, if we're going to be honest. Most liberals are degenerates, and they honestly, I hate what the Democrat Party has become. They've become such a disgusting, despicable, and honestly deplorable. The Democrat Party has become far more deplorable than one can ever imagine. And PDX Richard sent a marshmallow. I appreciate this gift. Thank you, PDX Richard. Much appreciated. Thank you, G-Dog. Matalola Johnson says, Corzo. Steven, let's see. Great answer. You earned a new sub. I appreciate it. The Ginger says, the Ginger gave $2 Canadian dollars. I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the subscription. But yeah, overall, here's what I think about Charlie, man. He's a good dude. He was a fabulous dude. And I think he was taken from us before he should have. And it's very confusing why somebody would actually kill him. And it's wild to me, and I don't know if it's desensitization or not. I love the internet. I'm a guy who loves the internet. I think the internet's one of the best inventions ever. It's honestly, I have to thank the internet completely. But I will say this about social media. There is some danger to it, and excessive use of social media can be detrimental to mental health. That's a fact. There are some studies that point to that direction. All right. Just wild to me, man. Yeah, Nina says Charlie Kirk had a lot of substance. He was a respectable guy. He didn't say liberals were all stupid like you are right now. Yeah, here's the thing. Charlie took the high road, and not gonna lie, I take the low road. Okay. Since liberals are taking the low road, I just kind of want to take the low road. I can't say road. And the reason I take the low road is very simple. Liberals have crossed the line again. And here's the thing. Who did this? I think, my personal opinion is I think the dude who did this is liberal. Pretty liberal. And another thing that needs to be talked about this person is, and not just the person, I'm talking about the way that people reacted. So there were people, obviously anybody with a heart and soul reacted in kind and said, holy crap, this is messed up. Why did this happen? Why? Okay? And then to the disgusting people on the internet, the people who were on TikTok that were all like dancing and giddy that a dude got shot in front of his family. They were happy about that. Why? Why would you be happy about a guy dying? Because he was better. I think the reason they were happy is because he made more sense than they do. And he didn't agree with their way of life, and clearly they didn't agree with his either. But here's the thing, man. I think we need to stop tolerating the intolerant. Here, the funny thing is the left preaches tolerance all the time, but they're the most intolerant people I've ever met. And we need to stop tolerating the intolerant left. All right? And what I mean by that is we just need to, if some Karen who's pearl clutching tells us what to do, tell them to F themselves. Tell them to go to hell. Tell them to F off. That's the thing. Sorry, I get a little heated sometimes. So let's take a look at the poll real quick. Being told I need a bra, obviously. So do you think so the poll question is, do you think I'm a grifter? That's the question. Sub and gift a super chat. So 51% of you say yes, and 49% say no. We got 489 total votes, which is pretty cool. We have a lot of people who have subscribed. We reached the 5,000 subscriber threshold today. And we're at 5,046 subscribers. I want to thank every single person who subscribed. PDX Richard gave another gift. Thank you, brother. I got so many brony brothers sent a thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up virtual gift. I appreciate you, my brony brother. So Daniel wants to know if I'm transitioning into a woman. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's pretty obvious. Now, the only thing I'm trying to say is this. I'm very upset. I'm very upset about the death of a good person. And the only thing I'm trying to say is this. If somebody tells you what to do, tell them to go away. That's all I'm trying to say. I actually don't want to see any violence. I want to encourage people to stand up for themselves if they're being attacked. And that's about it. That's just the way it is. The only thing I want to encourage is self-reliance, investing, and telling people to, if somebody's trying to get in your bubble and make you uncomfortable, like actually they're in the bubble, tell them, hey, back off. Tell them to F themselves, and then walk away. Simple as that. I do not recommend ever in any capacity. I don't recommend terrible things be done to people. I think that there's enough space in this world for everybody to get along. I really do believe that. And that's how it should be. So the question is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. So 51% of you say yes. 49% of you say no. We got 501. Granite says, Michael, is there a special lady in your life? Yes. Gal that I love, and we've been together for over 5 years, which is great. And I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, he didn't deserve what happened to him, man. Ooh. You guys gonna... Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 51% of you say yes. 49% of you say no. It's very split. It's surprisingly split on this poll. I've been patiently waiting. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright, yeah. So I got a new little device. It's a voice changing device. I got this from my boy Antoine. Check this out, man. This is super cool. I could be a rapper. I'm gonna test this out here in a second. I could connect this to my computer. It'll be interesting. I think I could turn it into some kind of little controller. Trying to figure out how to install this thing. Hold on. So I just don't know if there's like any singing mode. There's some instructions. See, trying to look at some of the instructions for this little voice changer I got. Let's see. Here, I am gonna chill out here real quick. I'm gonna sit down. Oh. Just give me a few moments, you guys. I gotta take a rest and gotta look at some instructions here. Let's see. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to test this thing, and it's like. So I think I would have to use the line in function into. Hold on. It's gonna be a little tricky. So we got the mic. All right, testing, testing. Interesting. Maybe this is seen as a recording device. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Huh. Whatever you make. One, two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, testing 2, testing 3. I know what time is fading, and I know you're here to save me. I better patiently wait out. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I know while I've been fading, and I know there's no escaping. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to figure this out, man. But hey, we love our boy Charlie Kirk. You know, good man. No, honestly, what happened to the dude is insane to me. Still, I'm still in a state of shock about it, and I'm still trying to even wrestle with it and trying to figure it all out. Well, it's interesting. So I'll have to figure out something with this soon enough, but this thing's pretty dope. Now, I will say this, if you guys want your chats to be read, a lot of you better provide a super chat. Just saying, you want your chats to be read, you gotta pay the troll toll. There's been a lot of hate in the chat, and look, there's been a lot of hate in the chat. So if you haters want to hate, just give me a super chat. That's the way I look at it. If you're gonna hate, some people hating. Some people. Not all. I do want to look at one thing, though. Oh. Be doing some live reactions to some football tomorrow. That's going to be pretty fun. And let's see. You know me, I love my football, do a little fantasy football and stuff like that. All right, so there's 543 votes. This is like the greatest poll I've ever had. It's very split. Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat. 52% of you say yes. 48% of you say no. Interesting. Am I a grifter? Oh, Granite really wants to see my fridge. So let me see here. We got 120 likes on this stream, though. That's pretty insane, man. Pretty insane. But no, I do want to say thank you guys for hearing me out with my love. I love Charlie Kirk, man. I really think he's one of the GOATs, one of the greatest, and so I think he's the man. But yeah, we'll say that super chats do keep this channel going and growing. So the more super chats, obviously, the better. So it actually helps out a lot. But if you have any pressing questions that you need answered, I think you guys know the drill. Will you run the square? Will you run the demo? Are you ready to swear right here, right now? Mm-hmm. Everybody's thinking I'm a grifter. Whoa, dude. I'm a grifter. Okay, so Ham gave a $2 super chat for a fridge reveal. All right, you paid, so let's take a look. So I'm just going to keep it open for a second here. So as you can see, we got the mustard, 2 mustards, lemonade. By the way, those are monsters right there in that big box, that orange box. That's coconut water in the middle shelf. Mozzarella cheese right there. Hold on. And then, those are some spicy Hot Ones sauces. That's, I can't remember if that's sriracha. It's probably sriracha. Yeah, let me see what that is. Hold on. Yep, that's about it, man. So, that's legit. I got the greatest fridge in the game, dude. You gotta grant it. Sometimes you gotta pay the troll toll to get into that refrigerator. Now, I will say this. Do you guys want an even further deep dive into the refrigerator? If so, you guys gotta pay up. What are you willing to pay in super chats? What are you willing to get in a super chat? Oh, we got GLHF from PDX Richard sent a virtual gift. Thank you. Clutch. So PDX Richard said I'm clutch. Heck yeah. Thank you for the virtual gift, my man. Boom, boom, boom. Appreciate it, brother. Oh, wow. Oh, man, I'm getting tons of rupees. Thank you for the virtual gifts. PDX Richard sent me a flower. He sent me a floating heart. Dude, he's giving me everything, dude. He's giving me clutch. He's saying I'm clutch. He's saying I sent a flower to me, floating heart, dude. This is pimp. Oh, dude, 100, dude. Oh my god, I'm getting spoiled, dude. I'm getting spoiled with virtual gifts, man. This is cool. I'm getting showered in virtual. I accept virtual gifts. Whatever you give me, man, I accept it. Supers, virtual gifts, you name it, man. PDX Richard sent another gift, sent a high five. Boom. Back at you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Sunday. PDX Richard also sent a Sunday. Thank you, brother. Appreciate ya, appreciate ya. Give me another moment, though. All right, man. Sorry about that. Hold on. This is great, man. This is great. Pick us a winner against the spread. If we're talking about football games, I don't even know who's playing tomorrow, dude. I haven't. I am going to be reacting to some football tomorrow. That's going to be very fun. I always enjoy doing that. Very entertaining time. One moment, everybody. I don't really watch a lot of college football. I'm just not I'm not a college football kind of guy. I love the NFL. I really do. I love my beefcakes, man. I love watching the beefcakes. Super sticker. What are those called anyway? So where you send a gift. I'm still trying to figure out some of the nuances in the YouTube stuff. One moment, folks. One moment. So the question is, do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift to Super Chat. 52% of you say yes. 48% of you say no. I appreciate it. You're making me sad. Oh, I got more virtual gifts. Hold on, I can't ignore these gifts. Hold on. PDX Richard sent clutch. Hell yeah, thank you, bud. I appreciate it. You don't get sent power potion. Whoa, dude. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, this is cool, dude. Thank you. My man's saying clutch. Oh, oh yeah. No, I just want to give a big shout out to PDX Richard for sending me a power potion. I am now revived. Oh my god, I feel like I'm a TikTok person. I feel like I'm a person on TikTok. Oh, Richard says sent a 100. Thank you, my brony brother. Oh, Mike Moda. See, Burnout sent Czar $99.99. I think that's incredible. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat. Let me take a look at it real quick. Hey, I just appreciate my boy, dude, sending me some love, dude. Sending me that love. Thank you, bro. My brony brothers, dude. Sends a thumbs up for 10 jewels. Thank you, PDX Richard. I appreciate you, bro. I don't know if this is a reply. I don't think I could really reply on that one. I don't know what the Czar $9.99 converts to in US dollars, but that's pretty cool. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Well, this has turned out to be a way better live than I expected. We got tons of people subscribing. We just did it. But yeah, you guys are awesome. I appreciate everybody on here. Yeah, this is great. But yeah, so the poll question, like I said, we've been trying to get the answer all night. So we got 567 votes on this poll. Do you think I'm a grifter? Now, if you sub and gift to Super Chat to figure out, am I a grifter? Boom. So 52% of you say yes, 48% of you say no. I've never seen a poll so divided. Never seen a poll so divided, so I appreciate it big time. Thank you, guys. Do you run the square? But yeah, so overall, we did cover quite a bit during this live. We covered, like, what Mr. Charlie Kirk was all about when it came to his investing portfolio. Just how he did it, man. We obviously can't, because he was an independent investor. We can't, he wasn't like an entity. He was an individual investor, just like you and me. So we couldn't, it wasn't made public, any of his trades or long-term holdings. I really would have loved to get to see a look at his portfolio, but he did hint quite a bit even, overall. Like what kind of, I didn't blame anybody specifically. I just said, hey, look, I just think that the people who are celebrating his death are sickos. I didn't say they did it, but I think that they're sick in the head. I think it's sick. I think it's disgusting. You should not celebrate somebody else's death just because you disagree with them. I just don't understand how people can get giddy like that. It's just fucking weird. What are you talking about, Nina? What are you talking about? Are you getting mad? You getting upset because I think that... No, you know what? I don't apologize to the woke mob, Nina. Sorry, I can't apologize to you guys. I refuse to. Why should I apologize to you guys? It should be you guys who are apologizing to us. Seriously. So to all of the so I'm gonna take a page out of the liberal playbook and gaslight everybody. Actually, I'm not even gaslighting anybody. I'm telling the truth here. So the thing I'm trying to say is this: I hope that to everybody who mocked his death, I hope you guys apologize. Hopefully. I'm waiting. Nina, I'm not apologizing for anything. If you want an apology out of me, you're not going to get one. Because I refuse to apologize to people like you, especially to people who are putting their chats in all caps locks. I refuse to apologize to Karens, okay? You're being a Karen, okay? You're being irate. I refuse to apologize to you at all. There, how does that feel? If you think that you got power over me, no. No. I refuse to apologize. So if you want an apology out of me, just get out of the chat. Get out of here. Nina, I think we all know what kind of person that Tyler was. But here, I'm not looking to argue with anybody, really. To be honest, I'm here to... I was really originally talking about portfolios. His portfolio potentially is what his portfolio may have been. And instead, I get tons of people just freaking out. Ooh, freak out. Yeah. But you know, that's just the way the woke mob works, man. So I don't know. I'm not going to be gaslit. I was gaslit by managers at T-Tech. I'm not going to be gaslit by crazy people in the chat. So if you want to gaslight me, so do you want me to? So if you really want me to apologize, Nina, I think you know what you got to do. Super chat, anybody? Tim Smith says we want a tour of the fridge. All right, Tim. Because you asked, because you're the man, dude. I love Tim. I will give you guys a tour of the fridge. Let's do this. Hold on. We still got a lot of battery left here, so let's get a look here. All right, let's see here. So you guys want to look at the fridge? Okay, so let's just get a frontal view here. Switch it up. There we go. Look at that. So this is the inside of the fridge here. We'll try to get the best angles possible here. So that way you guys can see. We got the monsters. Got it. Dr. Boylan. Got more monsters. We got a second picture here. We got the hot sauces. Let's take a look here. Jabom, look at that. Beautiful. This is actually this is kind of old, so I might have to throw it away. But these were crazy, man. The Last Dab Apollo, that shit's hot. It's very, very hot. I heard they have a new, like Pepper X is probably the hottest. But yeah, let's see. Fridge is pretty barren right now, to be honest. I keep it pretty low profile, but most of the food I got's in the freezer. So take a look at the freezer real quick. So we got some meat. Got this ground beef here. It's Thomas grass right here. I'll try to get you guys a good angle here. So that's what we get for the beef. So we got these sandwiches here. Breakfast sandos. We got Sonic popsicles, Jolly Ranchers, boom, corn, Hot Pockets, burgers, ice packs. Pretty barren setup, man. It's a very boring setup too. Let me also I gotta put this back in there, so hold on. But yeah, that's the fridge setup. Oh yeah, pomegranate juice, don't forget that. Stuff's always good. And then boop. All right. Oh. So I'm probably not going to be live on the lives too much longer tonight. I do gotta go to bed. I'm excited though. I love fantasy football. I actually got to make sure my fantasy app is up to date. Thank you to everybody for the virtual gifts and Granite. Yeah. So Tim, I hope that helped. I hope you were able to get a good view of the refrigerator. Hope you guys had a good time looking into it. Yeah, dude, PDX Richard says Sprite Zero is awesome. Absolutely, my man. It's good stuff. It's the best. Yeah, so let me do a little bit. So I'm doing fantasy football on the individual scale. I'll show you guys my team here in a second once I update the fantasy app on this. If it's even... Is the fantasy app even still on here? Oh, here it is. Cool. It's still on here. I think all my login info is still on this thing. You guys want to check out my fantasy team? Very sexy. Sexy Rexy. Oh, yep. All my info's still on here. Nice. So, this is my fantasy team. I got Diddy Juice, by the way. So, we'll take a quick peek here. We got my boy Patty Mahomes and Henderson, Warren, Jamar Chase. We got Justin Jefferson. Sorry about that. Trey McBride. We got 49ers defense, and we got my boy Chris Boswell. So I'm in a league where I'm surprised. I stole a lot of good players. Here's my bench, by the way, which I feel like I stole good players from my bench, too. I got, can't remember his first name, Keyshawn Bout, and then Joshua Downs, and then Kenneth Gainwell, Calvin Ridley, Scatterberto, or whatever the fuck his name is, and then Rashawn Stevenson, or whatever, and Rashad Wright. Like, they're all really good running backs. They're kind of the backup running backs for their respective teams. I actually kind of scored when it came to running backs, shockingly. But yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, so I ended up getting my running back handcuffs, which are good, Granite says, what is this, like a 6-team league? So it's actually, surprisingly, it's a 12-team league, and I actually ended up getting Jamar Chase, which shocked the heck out of me. How the hell do you get Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in the same fantasy draft? It's beyond me. I also got Ladd McConkey, and the fact that I also was able to score Trey McBride is even scarier. Like, it was weird. Everybody was picking running backs first, and it's like running backs are way more likely to get injured than a receiver overall because of how many hits they take. Running backs take a beating, and when they're out much longer than a wide receiver typically. Now, don't get me wrong, wide receivers can get injured, but if we're going by probability, your best bet is to really be a wide receiver focused team, especially if you're doing points per reception. That's huge. By the way, huge shout out to everybody who is subscribed to the channel. We now have reached we've reached 5,052 subscribers. To that, I want to say thank you. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. We really greatly appreciate it, man. It helps in so many ways. Let's see here. I'm doing a quick thing. Yeah, honestly though, rest in peace, Charlie, man. It's just like, also, he was honestly the best of us, man. I think what he did was incredible. Oh, man. But yeah, do you think I'm a grifter? Is the poll? Subscribe and gift a super chat. 51% say yes, I'm a grifter. 49% say no. Yeah. Yeah, Charlie's the man, dude. Charlie's the GOAT, dude. No, he'll be sorely missed, man. But you guys, I got to admit, I'm a little bit tired. I grow a little weary. A little bit tired. But what I'm going to do is... Tish says, Daniel, you sound like you need God. Well, thank you, Tish, by the way, for tuning in. I appreciate you big time. You've been super cool. It's always fun having you on here. It's very kind, very supportive. So I appreciate it big time. Thank you. Other than that, though, I think we could probably end this poll right here. Yeah, it's pretty much almost a 50-50 split, but 51% of you are leaning towards I'm a grifter. 49% say no. I'll take it. Actually, wait till we get to the 600th vote. Once we have 600 votes or more, we'll call it good. So we have 6 more votes. Can we get some more votes on this poll, please? We need more votes. Do you think I'm a grifter? Sub and gift a super chat if you can. Tish says, love your channel. Thank you, Tish. I appreciate it big time. Thank you. Trying to keep it as good as possible. Doing my best. Trying to keep everybody happy, but you know, that's okay. Not everybody can be happy on it, but it is fun to be able to talk to everybody. And you know, this live video started out me talking about, you know, Charlie Kirk and, you know, his love of investing, whether it be in crypto or stocks, for example. But at the end of the day, you know, That's like the one thing that I disagreed with him on was really just straight up cryptocurrency. I always thought that crypto is just such a Ponzi scheme. And I still hold that belief for sure. All right, we're looking for 600 votes. We're 3 more away from 600. Almost there. It's pretty much neck and neck on this poll. Nina, you are stretching that. Quit gaslighting me. Nina, quit gaslighting me. Like, this Nina person just seems like they're gaslighting the heck out of me. Look, I'm just saying, look at all the liberals who were laughing as they were responding by laughing and saying that he deserved it. Like, it was sick. All right, what do you have the timestamp? Because I don't think if I did blame liberal, which I don't think I did, by the way. I do think that liberals have been way too happy about this. I'll say that. I will say that liberals seem a little too happy about this. All right, what was the timestamp? Tell me the timestamp, please. Nina, why do you even care? I don't recall. And if somehow you misinterpreted it, I am seriously sorry about that, but I don't blame liberals for what happened to Charlie. What I do is I blame a very terrible person who, it looks like they were pretty left-leaning, by the way, who did this. I'm not saying that all liberals did this. I'm saying it's very disturbing. There's a pattern here. And it seems like there's a lot of liberals laughing about this, though. That's the disturbing pattern I noticed. Yeah, no, these libs, man, I don't know. These people are gaslighting. Yeah, there's a ton of videos, exactly like Madalola said. There are tons of videos of crazy people celebrating his death. So, I don't know. It's wild to me. So, but the crazies, they're the loudest. So, anyway, I'm done talking about it. I'm not, like I said, I don't apologize. It looks like 51% say yes, 49% say no. I don't really feel like I need to apologize for anything. I really don't. So, yeah. I still don't understand what I would need to apologize for, because I didn't say that all liberals did this. Yeah, I'm not apologizing. Like, I see no need to. I don't apologize to anybody who, if somebody's forcing me to apologize for something I don't even recall saying, it feels like it's a setup, and I'm not going to apologize. Why should I apologize for just saying random things? Well, Nina, what if I don't apologize? What then? It doesn't matter. All I know is this. I don't think I should have to apologize. Well, you said nothing, I don't care. Well, you seem to care quite a bit, Nina. You keep telling me to basically apologize, so it seems like you care. So, here's the thing. The only thing I'm apologizing for is actually talking to you too much about this. Because it's just frustrating. Dealing with the left is like dealing with something. You guys, I realize I gotta do something real quick. Hold on. Whew. I'm a little tired though, you guys. I really should probably get to bed. Yeah, I think this is getting weird. But anyway, I want to thank you guys. But no, I appreciate it though, Matalola. These people, whoever they are, they just can't be reasoned with, and that's all right. I'm a little tired. I got to get to bed, but I'll be doing some football reaction tomorrow, and that'll be fun. And we'll go from there. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be I'm going to try to react to some fantasy, not fantasy, but just regular football games for fun, and we'll see what we do from there. Appreciate y'all. Just have an incredible rest of the night, all right, everybody? Yeah, sometimes it happens. Anyway, catch you guys later. Bye, everybody.